This episode is filled with some of our best calls and advice, but unless you take what you hear and put it to work in your own life, you'll be stuck with the same money stress in 2026. So make a change and download Every Dollar today. Normal is broke and common sense is weird. So we're here to help you transform your life. From the Ramsey Network in the Fairwinds Credit Union studio, this is The Ramsey Show. And I'm Rachel Cruze, hosting this hour with Jade Warshaw. And we're answering your questions. So give us a call at 888-825-5225. And we'll be talking about your life, your money, career, relationships, anything and everything. We are here for you. So let's start off in Boston with Miguel. Hi, welcome to the show.
Hey, how's it going?
We're doing well. How can we help today?
So today I wanted to ask. So I have a business, and I'm contemplating on what I should do next because I'm also $147,000 in debt, and that's including credit cards, student loans, and car payment.
Okay.
So I wanted to know if I should sell the business for what I think I'd get value for, and then start fresh and then use that lump sum of money to attack the debt.
What kind of business are you in?
It's a printing business, so merchandise.
What would
So
cause
print shop
you? What would cause you to sell the business versus using profit from the business to pay down the debt?
I think it's just because I'll collect a lump sum of money, and the business right now is kind of fluctuating. It's up and down. And I'm also alone in it. So it's a lot of my time where I feel like if I could change the...
If you didn't have debt, Miguel, would you stay in this business? Or would you still want out?
Yeah.
You would stay in?
I'll potentially stay in the business, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because I look at this as, how much would you sell it for? How much could you get out of it? Minus all of your liabilities and everything.
About 30 grand.
How much are you making off of it every year? How much are you bringing home?
So this is actually my first year in it. So I'd know at the end of the year, but roughly after everything, about $1,500 a month.
$1,500 a month. Is this what you do full time, or is this kind of like a side business?
It's full time.
Well, I don't know that I would sell it. But I would not have this being my full-time job right now because of what it's generating. It feels
how are you guys living? Is your wife work?
No, I'm single.
You're single. How are you living off of $1,500 a month?
Just making it happen, honestly.
But what's your rent though? Like real numbers?
I pay studio. It's about $850.
Mm-hmm. What else? Car?
Car, yeah, $450, and then
$450. Okay.
Everything else, yeah.
And then utilities, I guess that's put in with the rent, and then just you're scrapping on food. No insurance.
Yeah.
Do you have insurance? Health insurance?
Well, my car, it's no health insurance.
Yeah. So you're not on a living wage right now, and so while I think it's cool to have a printing business, this it eats like a part-time side hustle when we look at the income that it's bringing. So I would be looking, as you're working this, I'd be looking for a full-time job. What are your skills? What have you done in the past before you did this business?
I technically just hopped out of school and then saved money and then started this business.
Yeah. How many hours a week?
I've never really...
How many hours a week are you putting into this?
A lot. It's probably 50, 60.
Yeah. Okay, so if you did, do you have a buyer out there? When you say sell the business, what's that? Have you looked into that option? Is there a realistic option?
Yeah, I have a few options, and that's when I mean the business, I just mean the equipment and everything.
Yeah.
I hear what you're saying. Not necessarily. Yeah. Okay. Yes.
Because that's where the debt is, right? What did you invest in to do this business? What equipment do you have?
I have DTG printer, heat presses, and a couple other machines. desktops and stuff like that.
I'll tell you, you haven't been doing the business long, so I don't want to say that there's no future in it. Like, but how much of this debt is business debt? Like, how much of it came from the business?
About $8,000.
Okay, that's not bad. Of the 147, that's only 8. I'm inclined for you to continue. What I want to know is what's the minimal amount of hours that you can put in it to keep the 1,500 so that you can search for something else. Is there any feasible way to do that?
Yeah, it's possible. That's also another plan I've been thinking of, because I have a location in a premier like downtown area. So I was thinking of just getting rid of the space, trying to find something smaller, and then kind of just work on based off orders I get.
Yeah,
not so much like being in there.
Do you have consistent clients that you're reprinting for? Or is it a one and done?
For the most part. A little bit of both, but I do have, I've picked up a few clients that are picking up, monthly.
Yeah. And is most of the hours, when you're saying I'm working 50 hours on this, is it most of it in the actual physical printing that you're having to do, or is it trying to find new clients and marketing and thinking of creative ways to get your name out there?
A little bit of both, but mainly the printing process, like printing and being in there.
Okay. Yeah, so I'm with Jade. I mean, Miguel, if you have all the equipment and it is bringing in 1,500, obviously that's not sustainable long term for you to live like that. Obviously, you know that, or you probably wouldn't be calling this show. So it's November. A part of me would give it another 6 months while doing something else. Like you need to go wait tables. I mean, you could make more money doing that. I mean, something, right? You need to go be doing something. And if you can keep this on the side and actually get some clientele, you could, I don't know. And if you
grow it.
Yes, grow it. And then maybe that be your full time, or you just have these clients and you start making $3,000 a month while also still working to get out of all the all the debt that you talked about at the beginning of this call. So I almost would be tempted just to hold tight for like maybe 6 months. Give yourself a time period though to say, okay, I don't go into any more debt in it. But to say, can I pick up any more steam in this business in the next 6 to 9 months? And if you can't, then sure, sell the equipment and then that will give you some money. But we just see this, Jade and I both, I think, as a great side hustle for right now while you go get a full-time job somewhere else.
The fact that you've started generating money so quickly from it, I think is good. And you have made an investment in some equipment and it feels like worth it to try to play that out a little longer. But I like what Rachel said on putting a timeline on it.
So I would do that, Miguel, or just throwing this out there. Kind of the other side of the coin is if you hate it and you're not enjoying it, but I think you are liking it in some degree because you said you'd still stay in it if you didn't have debt, is to, find something just full-time, sell the stuff, and you start a whole new life where you're not feeling like you have to carry a business, right? Because it's a lot of strain and mental calories to do that. So I don't know, kind of two different options, but either way, you got to get a second job. Either way.
Agree. Rich, I hope that helps. I know that sometimes when we just tell people, cut your expenses and get a job, I know it feels tough, but truly that is the remedy. You don't have expenses to cut. You're bare bones as it is. So the next line of defense is getting more income. That's how it works.
Yeah. And Ken Coleman has a book, Find the Work You're Wired to Do. And we'll send that to you because there's a great, it's not a quiz, assessment at the back. Yeah. To kind of figure out, maybe this will help kind of narrow some possible career paths for you too, Miguel, that you can just kind of brainstorm and think. So hold on the line. Christian's going to pick up.
This episode is sponsored by BetterHelp. The holidays are full of traditions. Some of these traditions we love, some we just survive. And in addition to the traditions, let's be honest, this time of year can also be a time of noise and pressure and loneliness. Here's what I want you to do. I want you to ask yourself what really matters to you this year. And therapy can give you a space to do just that, to think, to breathe, to ask yourself, what do you want this year, and to make room for peace. That's why I recommend BetterHelp. BetterHelp has over 30,000 licensed therapists that have helped over 5 million people worldwide with an average rating of 4.9 out of 5 stars. BetterHelp is online so it fits around your schedule, even during the chaotic holiday times. You get online and just answer a few questions, and they'll match you with someone who fits your needs. And if your therapist is not the right fit, you can switch anytime for no extra cost. This month, start a new tradition by taking care of you. Visit BetterHelp.com/Ramsey to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/Ramsey.
With the last caller, we were talking about real estate and what that looks like to start saving up towards a home. And you guys, when it comes to buying and selling your home, there's a lot of decisions. It can feel very overwhelming, but you don't have to go through that process alone. We created Ramsey's Real Estate Home Base. So this is a place with so many resources and tools like calculators, start to finish guides, how-to articles, a podcast, a book, a video course, like everything around the subject of real estate. Because again, buying and selling, it can be an overwhelming process. And the more information you have that you understand and you know, the more clarity you're going to have walking into that, which is huge. Like you want to be armed with so much information before you go and buy or sell your home. So make sure to check it out at RamseySolutions.com/real estate, or click the link in the description if you're watching on YouTube or listening on podcast. Because if you need some next steps towards your home buying or home selling process, make sure to check it out. One of my favorite things on it is the dashboard. They have the U.S. housing market trends, and they keep it updated. And it's just constantly kind of a pulse of what's going on with interest rates, median home prices in America, total days on the market, how many homes are for sale around the country. I mean, it just kind of gives you the snapshot picture of the real estate market. So again, you can go to RamseySolutions.com/real estate. All right, we're going to the phones, and we're going to Andrew in Cheyenne, Wyoming. One of my favorite country songs. Hey, Andrew, welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Absolutely. How can we help?
Hey, so I'm on. My wife and I were on baby step 2, and it kind of took us a little bit to get there. Mostly because we've been pretty sick, both of us, for the past few years. And we're seeking some medical treatment to hopefully nip this in the bud, hopefully in a few short months. But the medical treatment that we're looking at that was recommended by our doctor is experimental, and it's not covered by insurance, and the treatment is going to be between $10,000 to $30,000. So we're kind of in a position where we...
Oh, no, Andrew? Are you there, Andrew? Oh, no.
Oh, man.
Andrew, we'll give you one more second. Oh, yep. That's a bad line, I think. We're going...
Is this better?
Oh, there you are.
Oh, you're back. Good.
Yes.
Sorry.
Oh, you're good. You're good.
My phone's a little weird. So I don't know if my wife and I should actually take out a loan or not. We really don't want to, especially since
Can I ask, Andrew, and share as much as you feel comfortable, but what's going on health-wise?
We got pretty sick from the home that we were living in.
Oh.
And so
like mold?
It's been yeah, so it's just been a lot of stuff that's been going on where a lot of the treatments have been not either FDA approved or treatments that have been getting us better. We are better, but it's just been a really long process. So the last time we talked with our doctor, he said that we should try and do like a hyperbaric treatment, which seems great. You know, he's had really great success with it, but the only problem is that the payment has to be upfront. And so that's the only issue.
And insurance, this is obviously something more like in a natural bent, I'm assuming, so insurance isn't going to cover it.
No, insurance won't cover it.
Tell me, just health-wise, are you able to work? Are you able to function? Like, how are you guys? You said you're doing better. I'm just trying to get a gauge about how urgent this is for you guys.
Yeah, so we are better, and we are both working right now. We make about, I want to say, close to $70,000 or $80,000 right now a year.
Okay.
The only problem with this is that the longer we put it off, the worse it'll get.
Sure.
What's
your margin every month? Like, what are you right now putting towards debt in baby step 2 that you could put potentially towards saving up for this or doing one at a time?
Yeah, we're able to put close to $600 or so a month into debt.
And how much debt do you guys have?
Right now we have about, I want to say about $20,000 in student loan debt, and then about $50,000 in a business loan.
Okay. Man, this is so hard because I do feel like they're just from my own, not my own experience, but people within my close circles of friends and family, even that I know, you know, when you get something, it's like autoimmune or mold or whatever, that it can end up feeling, Andrew, like there's always something else we have to, like there's a long line of things that are continual. Mm-hmm. And so what I, you know, always just think about and kind of caution is I would, number one, maybe get a second opinion. I'm sure you know your doctor well and trust them, but you know, I mean, we're talking about $10,000 to $30,000, right? I mean, if it was $2,000, that's one thing, but I mean, you're talking, you know, 5 figures going in with treatments. And so
is that a piece or all in?
That would be for us combined.
Okay.
That would, I mean,
and is this ongoing or is it kind of a one-time?
Lord willing, it'd be just a one-time, like, you know, one to 2 months worth of treatment. So it'd be, you know, 20 sessions is about $10,000 on the high end. So we hope to be done in about a month. Okay.
So, you know, what I would probably do, because again, I feel like this can sometimes feel like a never ending cycle. Mm-hmm. I would, and because it's not and I know you guys are saying I don't want to downplay it, all the sickness, because I'm sure it's just miserable, but it's not a life or death. Like, okay, I have to save my child right now because, you know, there's you know, like it's not this, it's not an urgency, but it is something for the betterment of your health you want. So what I would probably strive to do is whatever I could to get, because 10 to 30 is a big range. So I would get as close to that 10 and I would negotiate doctor's bill. I mean, I would do whatever I could to get it down to that 10. And you guys are, you know, I would work to save $1,000 a month. I would be okay right now because it is a health issue, maybe to pause the debt snowball, stay current on your bills. But I would bump that $600 a month up to $1,000 and save for 10 months. And then starting October, November, Andrew, start this treatment. And then hopefully by this time next year, you're through it, you're done, and then press play on the baby steps.
And maybe one of you goes at a time to see if it's helpful.
Oh, that's a good point.
You know, I know you're 2 different bodies with 2 different sets of, you know, but that might be a good way to say, listen, I did it. It did nothing for me, or I did it and it really, really helped. That might give you some confidence going into the next treatment
too.
It's just a thought. Like, I don't know what you're facing. I don't know if it's headaches or every time you eat, you know, whatever it is, if it's something that's truly debilitating, but if it's just, and again, I don't want to downplay it either, but if it's something that's more of an annoyance that you're learning to live through, that gives you, you know, there's a little bit more timeline there to get this done.
For sure. And the sense too that, you know, you don't want to prolong it too long because like what you're saying, you know, they can come back and get worse unless you have this treatment. So getting to it, right, a level of urgency, but it's also not like we have to do this next month. The only option is a loan and we're done. Like if you can and it's not debilitating because you guys are working and all of that, I would find something because I would cash flow it. And the other thing, Andrew, that's interesting is when you are working with cash, even when we're talking about, you know, health situations, it does force you, this is why I like cash, forces you to look at other options, other decisions, like
sell something. Yeah.
There's just other parts of your brain of problem solving versus with debt. It's like, here's a chunk of money. This is all we're going to do. We don't really have to put the brain power to think through other things. It's just here. But when you're paying with cash and you're working and saving hard, like, I don't know, it forces other things to come to the surface of other options and choices.
That's also true.
But yeah, so again, I'm so sorry. That's
very
stuff
tough.
that is like, and that has been, I don't know if I've just had people and it's like, you go to the next thing and then it flares up again. I don't know, it just feels like it's like whack-a-mole a little bit sometimes with different things. So I do want you guys to get that treatment, but because it's not life or death right in this moment, I would calm down. I mean, you know, I would pause a little bit and save up for it.
That's difficult. I remember when Sam and I were getting out of debt. This was before the days of Obamacare and you had to have insurance or else you were penalized. We didn't have insurance. And one day he was pulling our luggage out of the back of the Jeep and it got caught on his finger and he broke his finger. Oh no. And we didn't have insurance. And I was like, listen, head over to Walgreens. Tape it up.
Tape it up.
It's crooked to this day. And he plays instruments. It wasn't good.
Take care of yourselves,
Take
people.
care of yourselves.
Is that insurance? This is The Ramsey Show.
Owning a business can be a heavy load. You want to serve your customers well, make a healthy profit, and grow. And your team, family, and customers are all counting on you. And now everybody's talking about AI like it's magic. And you're wondering how to keep up. You're carrying a lot, but you don't have to do it all alone. That's where NetSuite comes in. Over 43,000 businesses, including Ramsey Solutions, use NetSuite to lighten the load by bringing all their numbers into one system. Accounting, inventory, CRM, payroll, the works. And now NetSuite's AI takes it further, automating busy work, flagging inventory issues, spotting cash flow problems in real time, and catching risks before they hit. So you're not just closing the books faster, you're making decisions confidently. And when your numbers are right, that takes a lot of pressure off your shoulders. And yeah, switching systems is a big move, but NetSuite's Suite Success process gets you up and running fast. Go to netsuite.com/Ramsey for a free product tour and to schedule time with a NetSuite rep. That's netsuite.com/Ramsey.
Welcome back to The Ramsey Show. Up next in Boone, North Carolina, we have Sierra on the line. Hi, Sierra. Welcome to the show.
Hi, thank you.
Absolutely. How can we help?
So my husband and I are living paycheck to paycheck, and I was introduced to Dave Ramsey from my grandmother. Now, I have been trying for the past 6 months, and I'm stuck on baby step 1. And we're not getting anywhere. We had half of baby step 1, and then everything happened with the hurricane, and we're back to 0.
Oh, man.
Were you guys hit hard? Were you one of the towns?
Yeah, we were.
So
and
sorry.
It's okay. It happens. But I feel like we can't catch a break, and living paycheck to paycheck is so hard for us. I am a full-time student, college student. I'm 29, and my husband works full-time, sometimes even overtime shifts, just so that we can get by. And I don't know what to do anymore.
What's he bringing in, income-wise?
About $49,000 to $50,000 a year.
Okay. And when do you graduate?
I have about 5 semesters left, so I'll be finishing up in 2027.
Okay. Wow. Okay. Are you working at all, Sierra?
I'm not, but I pick up pet sitting shifts to try and bring in some money. I tried a full-time job and full-time college, and it destroyed me.
Okay. What are you getting your degree in?
Biology.
And what's the goal with that? What do you want to do?
I want to go work on the coast as a marine biologist.
Wow.
Okay.
Okay. So he's bringing in $49,000. You're doing pet sitting. How much do you guys see a month? Like after taxes, after everything, what does that look like monthly for you?
It's about $3,500.
Okay. And how are you guys living? Are you renting? What are you paying for rent?
We are renting.
Okay.
We pay $1,000 a month for rent.
Okay. Yeah, this is tough. The solution that you're looking for, I mean, people live paycheck to paycheck for different reasons. Sometimes it's our spending's out of control and we've got to, rein the budget in and rein the spending in. And sometimes it really is an income issue. And in this case, I think you're creeping up on an income issue. I'm just wondering, what is your husband doing for work? What kind of work does he do?
He makes fiber optic cable.
Okay, and you said he had a side hustle too. What's that?
He door dashes.
Okay. So I'm wondering if both of you need to sit down and kind of figure out, okay, what do we both need to do in order to make this work? Because to your own words, it's not sustainable. Are you guys going into debt? Like, how are you covering the overages?
We are door dashing every chance that we can get.
Okay.
Just so, like, I can get to class and we can get food, and sometimes his mom helps us out.
Okay, so there's not, you're covering the overage then.
Mm-hmm.
So there's part of this, and there may be more that you can do income-wise, but there is part of this where you've said, okay, I'm going to go to school for the next 3 years, and I'm going to become a marine biologist. And by me doing that, here's what we've decided. My income is limited, and he's in his career right now. And so there's part of this that you guys have decided by choosing this path. And I'm not saying it's a bad thing. It's just we've both understood that for the next 3 years, it's going to be extremely tight. But there's a light at the end of that tunnel because you're going to be a marine biologist. What's a marine biologist make?
It kind of depends. I'm trying to get a state job, and that can range anywhere from $50,000 to $70,000.
Okay.
That's great.
And how are you paying for school?
Right now, I am pretty set with financial aid and scholarships.
Okay.
I've already finished my associates and
Good for you.
Very good.
went through that with honors, so I've been doing pretty well with scholarships.
So
That's
no
great.
debt, no loans.
Yeah. Do you guys have any other debt or any debt at all?
Yes, I have 3 credit cards, but it only adds up to about 1,000, maybe 1,500.
What do you
and
guys?
I have a car.
How much is that?
The total on it's $28,000, and I pay $668 a month.
There's some
our
money.
problem, Sierra. You got to sell that car.
Yeah.
You got to sell it.
See, and I'm trying to figure out how to sell it.
So
but
sell
I'm
it.
not sure because I'm $13,000 flipped on this car.
Ooh.
Oh,
Wow.
So
Okay.
you owe $28,000, and how much? And you're saying you really can't sell it except for $15,000 is what it's worth.
When I had it, because I went and had it appraised at a dealership.
Okay,
And
don't.
they said they can only give me $6,000
Yeah.
for it.
Okay, so don't do the dealership route because they will always give you a much lower rate than what you could actually sell it private sale for. So go on kellybluebook.com, put in all the info, and just see on the high end what you could get for it. Okay. So the dealership told you how much would they pay for it?
$6,000.
Oh
Six-
my gosh.
Wait, $6,000 and it's a 20 and you owe $28,000. What kind of car is it?
It's a 2017 Jeep Cherokee, and I have 162,000 miles on it.
Okay.
What does your husband drive? What's his deal?
He has a motorcycle that's paid for,
Got you.
and we call it a hoopty, and it's just a really old beater that's also paid for.
What about the motorcycle? What's it worth?
About $4,000.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I would. Okay, I think. Yeah, I would be selling this car, Sierra, for sure. And even if you can only get $16,000 for it, I would rather have a $16,000 loan than a $28,000 loan. Does that make sense? Like that's gonna change your numbers a whole lot. And if I were you guys, do you guys have kids?
We have a 2-year-old.
You have a 2-year-old. Okay. Yeah, I mean,
I might sell the motorcycle and take the $4,000 and get a beater car for you.
and then sell your car.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, because you can always go back and get a motorcycle again. But you guys, I mean, to your point,
I mean, it's going to cut that payment down when she gets a loan for whatever it
almost
is.
half,
by
possibly.
half. Yeah.
I mean, you guys would have an extra $300 a month coming in.
Yeah.
So there's decisions here, and I think Jade set it up really well. And it's kind of a hard pill to swallow in life, but it's understanding that, as adults, we make decisions around our life, and not all
And
of
it's
them.
not bad.
Yeah, not all of them are right or wrong. It's not this, oh gosh, you shouldn't be in school right now. It's not that at all. It is though we have decided to do this route, and because of that, we're not going to have a lot of money. Like we're going to feel broke for 3 years until I get through school, and until I get a job and all of that. And in 3 years, it's going to look different. But in the meantime, what can we do? What other decisions can we make that are going to be adult-like decisions that may hurt and they're not fun, but it's things like getting the extra job like you guys are doing. It's selling stuff to see what you can free up. It's getting out of debt and freeing up income.
Cutting up those credit cards.
Cutting up credit cards. Yeah, I mean, it's doing a couple of these, making some of these decisions within the big decision of the lifestyle you guys have made just to make it easier, Sierra. And that's the thing is we want peace. We talk about financial peace is what we want for everyone. And that peace is going to look different depending on, everyone's situation and, the way they view life and all of it. It's a little bit of, subjective to a degree. But you don't have peace right now. And so what I would fight so hard for is in these 3 years, how can we get some peace? And being able to free up some money would bring some of that. And how do we do that? Well, I just listed out a couple of options from jobs and selling stuff and all of it. So that's what I would do.
One of them's a long term that you've committed to. Like once she starts working, she's got a great pathway to make $70,000. And
and then together with your husband, y'all will be making $130,000.
Yeah, that's
before
great.
taxes. Like that's amazing. So the light is coming, but it's getting to the light that I think is really key. And what decisions can we make in between? And these are hard, Sierra. I understand. Like these aren't fun. It's not always fun, but it's getting you to a goal that you guys want together. And part of that is you still being in school. So I commend you for having a 2-year-old and doing this. And I'm so sorry about the devastation in your area. We think about you guys so much. So we're praying for you. Thanks for the call.
This is Dave Ramsey. We all want to know that the money we give to charity is doing something that matters, that it's making a real change, giving someone lasting hope. And here's one way to make sure of that. Give to Preborn. They're the real deal. Proven, transparent, and changing lives every day. I trust Preborn, and you can too. They're on the front lines of the battle for life, partnering with clinics to offer free ultrasounds to mothers in crisis. Because when a mom sees her baby on that screen, something changes. It's not just a decision anymore, it's a person. And 80% of the time, when a mom sees that ultrasound, she chooses life. Your $28 gift provides one of those ultrasounds. Just $28 to be the reason someone chooses life. And at every clinic, the gospel is shared, giving moms the chance to choose life and find real hope in Christ. $28, one ultrasound, one heartbeat, one mom who realizes she's not alone. That's the kind of life-changing impact your giving makes through Preborn. Go now to preborn.com/Ramsey or call 855-601-2229. That's preborn.com/Ramsey.
You're listening to The Ramsey Show. We help people with your life, your money, your relationships. If that's you want to get in on the action, you can call us up. It's a live show. The number is 888-825-5225, and we'll get you on the line. Today's Ramsey Show question of the day is sponsored by Why Refi. When you're trapped in a maze of defaulted private student loan debt, it's hard to find your way out. But Why Refi can offer you a lifeline with custom refinancing based on your ability to pay and a lump sum payoff option that you could qualify for after 24 months. So go to whyrefi.com/Ramsey. That's the letter Y, REFY.com/Ramsey. Remember, it may not be available in all states.
Today's question comes from Lauren in New Mexico. I currently own 3 rental properties and have 30-year mortgages on 2 of them. You say to have 15-year mortgages because you pay it off faster. If I am putting my profits from my rental toward my principal on a 30-year mortgage and can pay it off in 15 years, is there a need to switch it to a 15-year mortgage? What's the reasoning behind the 15-year mortgage? I make more profits with a lower monthly payment, which puts more money towards the principal. Well, Lauren, for starters, we would say not to even have rental property if you're not able to pay cash for it. So technically speaking, I mean, if you could pay it off quickly, I would probably just sell one and throw some of the equity at the other and make that a goal to sell it. But having, 3 rentals that have mortgages on them, not the best idea, not really the Ramsey way to do it. But for your primary home, we do say a 15, even though people, this is one of those that I feel like is a slippery slope because, a lot of people still do the 30 and, whatever it is.
Yeah,
but,
of course.
But the thing to remember is your intentions don't always line up with reality. So if you have the intention of paying a 30 like a 15, stuff happens and you're like, oh yeah, well, we won't pay extra this month. We'll make sure to catch up next month. And then something else happens and you end up usually not paying it truly like a 30. You don't. Now, when you're paying off your house in the baby steps, we do find that people are paying their houses off in like 9 to 11 years. Which is amazing. So I think that 15-year fixed rate mortgage that we talk about, it just locks you in to a plan to get you out of debt faster with the guarantee that you will get it paid off in 15 years.
It makes you accountable.
Yep.
And let's call a spade a spade. The truth is, if you go with a 30-year, you're not paying as much, so you get more house.
Yes.
And I think truthfully, when people want that, they want more house and not when you're locked into 15, though, it's like, okay, maybe suddenly I can't afford what I thought I could get.
Yes.
So look at the root of the...
Yeah. And that's the thing. That's what's so always interesting with houses is that you're going to qualify for a lot more
Absolutely.
house and what they will give you than what you necessarily need or even what's good for you financially. So we always talk about having at least 5% to put down for a down payment. Your payment being no more than 25% of your take-home pay on a 15-year fixed rate, which I always say, we understand that is a very conservative formula when it comes to the housing situation. But just like our last caller, you guys, like you see people like get into housing situations and it takes half their income, or maybe one spouse chooses to stay home, but you can't because you've built your life around having a dual income, and it just starts to limit your choices. The deeper you go into debt, the longer you're in debt, it just limits your life choices on what you can and can't do because it's telling you basically what to do. So that's it, Lauren.
All right.
Hope
That's
that helps.
really good advice. Let's talk to Greg. He's in Biloxi, Mississippi. What's going on, Greg?
Hey, Jade and Rachel. It's so good to be talking to y'all. I'm fangirling a little bit right now, not gonna lie.
Glad you're here.
So I have been listening for a little over a year, but the month before I started listening, I co-signed on a truck for my now ex-fiancee.
Oh, Greg, I'm sorry.
Yeah, rough situation. So we had agreed once things ended that, hey, we can keep the loan as it is for a year because we needed to wait for the maturity date.
Okay.
And so it's coming up on that. And just in talking to her on occasion, she most likely is not in a position to refinance it on her own. And she has said that her parents or anyone else won't help her.
Good for them.
So yeah, definitely. Just from my perspective, I'm not quite sure how I can get myself out of this.
Have you tried persuading her to sell it and start over fresh on her own?
I have. She is not completely opposed to the idea, but I don't think I can really rely on her actually following that through.
Can I ask a question? And I promise it does kind of relate to this. Who broke up with who?
No, you're good. I ended things with her.
Okay.
Which makes it a little stickier.
It makes it stickier because this is a tie to you. This is a way for you to still be in her life. And
Are you getting pulled over, Greg?
No, there's an alarm going off somewhere nearby.
Okay. I was like, oh no, are you driving and getting pulled over?
But my point is, like, this is a tie to you, and if things were different, I'd say you could make the argument of like, hey, you broke things off, and I want a clean break, and I need to be free from this. Like, you could make that argument, but in this case, it does make it a little tough. How much is the loan for?
There's about 27 left on it.
Okay.
Man, how much is it worth? Do you know?
I actually did look up the Kelley Blue Book a couple weeks ago, and it said that private party sale was tops like 23.
Oh gosh, and it's upside down.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I think this is only going to get worse. So I would really encourage her to sell it, and I'd be strong on that. I'd say, listen, there's a reason that you can't the math is like the logical reason is there's a reason you can't refinance this. And the reason is the bank has looked at your financial situation and said it's not stable. You cannot afford this on your own, which means they expect you to default, which means I'm here for when you default. That's what that means. And I don't know what the hard part is. I don't know if your relationship is there for you to even talk to her like that anymore, but that's the truth of the matter.
I know. Cause if you can't make her do anything.
No.
And so you really are kind of at the mercy of her. I'm like, you can't go in and, take your name off the loan in secret. Right.
No,
So it is. So you're in a tough position, Greg. And it's kind of one of those, I'm sorry that you're gonna have to be one of the sad examples that we'll probably use this week to say when someone calls, I should, my girlfriend wants me to co-sign. We're gonna say, talk to Greg in Biloxi. Greg would tell you don't do this because this is
Definitely.
what happens.
My family agrees. My family agrees that this is the dumbest decision I've made this entire decade of my life.
Oh man.
Well, unless you can just convince her because you're a great salesman, but coming from an ex-fiancee, she's probably not going to want to listen to your advice.
No.
You broke her heart. Sorry, Greg. And now you're there's nothing you can do. So I think it's one of those stupid texts. And I'm praying she doesn't default.
Me too.
And she just pays this and gets out of it. That's what
she has been very consistent on the payments.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
will give her that.
What is the payment?
Oh gosh, it's almost 7.
Oh
Yeah.
gosh. Listen, the most practical thing you can do to be ready for this storm
is if she defaults.
Is if she defaults, and to be ready if you kind of have some money packed away on the side, because if she doesn't pay it, it reflects on you. And when it's time for you to buy a house, or when it's time for you to do some of the things that you want to do, if you still have a credit score laying around, which you will because of this, it will make it bad. And as we've talked about on the show, having a bad credit score is very difficult. We talk about having a 0 credit score, which is wonderful, but this will keep you from having that, even if you pay off all of your other debts. So if I were in your shoes, which this is the game we like to play, I would be, which by the way, we don't know much about your financial situation. Do you have debt?
The truck technically, and then I have about $22,000 in student loans I'm working on. I've already gotten rid of the credit card debt and
I'd go gung ho on your debt. I'd work the baby steps on that, and then when I was through, I would be mindful of keeping some money stacked up.
For your emergency fund, knowing this is something you may have to dip into.
Exactly.
And I would tell her too, Greg, you don't want to emotionally be attached anymore, right? And this keeps you guys somewhat together in a weird state for the future. So I'm sorry.
Oh, I hate that that's happening to you. All right, that does it for this hour of the show. Stick around. We'll be right back with you before you know it.
The last thing you need this holiday season is more stuff collecting dust or tech that keeps you glued to screens and up too late. You need better sleep, and that's what you'll get with Casper. Their mattresses are made for deep, uninterrupted rest that keep you cool and comfortable, so you wake up feeling ready, not wrecked. Because rest is not a luxury, it's an investment, and the ROI is your well-being. So go to Casper.com/Ramsey and use promo code Ramsey for 25% off mattresses and 10% off everything else. You get free shipping too. That's Casper.com/Ramsey, promo code Ramsey. Exclusions apply.
Welcome back to the Ramsey Show in the Fairwinds Credit Union studio. I'm Rachel Cruze, and we are going to the phones. First up, we have Donna in San Antonio. Hi, Donna. Welcome to the show.
Hi. Thanks for taking my question. I appreciate it.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, so my husband has a student loan that is currently in deferment. It's been in deferment over 10 years. But prior to that, it was in default. It ballooned from $65,000 to $340,000.
What?
We got,
Donna.
pretty scary. I know. There was some fraud involved. We tried to take care of it with some attorneys. We were not able to get anywhere. We're stuck with it. We got married 4 years ago. His situation is he's 66, close to retirement. He doesn't really have any assets, no savings. I'm 57, probably going to work for another 5 years. I've got about $1.4 million in investment assets, which are owned free and clear. We both have a joint account with Charles Schwab, which has about $200,000 in it, but it's fully funded by me. And then we have 2 other properties in both of our names. Couple of questions. How can I navigate negotiating this balance down for him? I'm willing to pay up to $100,000 for it. And how do I protect myself?
Are they private loans or federal loans?
So they're federal loans. They were well, I believe they're federal loans. See, I've had trouble with this. They were federal loans, and then they were consolidated.
Okay.
So, and from what I understand, I've been to so many different places, and I keep hitting a brick wall. It's like nobody can really give me the right answers. I've been told I can't negotiate.
If they're federal, you can't negotiate. If they're private, you can. But if the whole lump of them, if that whole lump is federal, you owe what you owe.
So what's his best route? Does he just keep deferring it?
No.
I mean, he will never be able to pay these off. He'll never be able to pay it.
So tell me about the properties, because I'll tell you what Rachel and I are going to do, and then we'll explain it. We're going to approach this as any married couple would, who is dedicated their lives to each other and has decided that they're one, meaning that they're one in life and money and all of those things. And then we can go back and trace it back if we need to. But let's talk about these properties, because what I think is somewhere in the assets between the two of you is the money to pay this off.
There's definitely money. I built this. I mean, we've only been married 4 years.
Yeah.
All of those assets are mine. I mean, I've done what I needed to do, and I've built.
How many marriages have you guys had in the past, Donna? Is this...
He's been married once before, and so have I.
Okay, so it's both second marriages. Okay. Did you do a prenup at all?
No, we didn't. We have our wills, but we didn't do a prenup. No.
Okay.
What can I ask a little bit about that?
Sure.
I'm hearing you talk, and it sounds like you very much want to protect the wealth that you built.
Yes.
But you didn't sign a prenup, which makes me wonder about that. Like, how did you view that?
I didn't realize how. I don't know. What can I say? We're soulmates.
Okay. Listen, that's good to know.
We're soulmates, and he's a wonderful man, and I'm not concerned about really protecting my assets from him.
Okay.
I'm more concerned about protecting my assets against somebody coming in and swooping in, a lender coming in and taking.
Got it. Okay. So in that case, I loved hearing you say that, because it sounded at first like when you said, "Oh, I'm only willing to put $100,000 towards this," it sounded like you were trying to keep your assets from him, right? Like you didn't want to spend too much on his debt. That's the way it sounded at first. But now it sounds like that's not the issue. And if that's the case, can you tell us about these properties? Because the money might be there to get free and clear of this.
It's all real estate, basically. And again, they're all owned free and clear.
Right.
How much are each of the properties?
How much am I into the properties?
Yeah.
Probably, $500,000 or $600,000.
So tell us
probably around $500,000 or $600,000.
Tell us property one. What's property one worth?
So I've got a condo, which is probably worth around $200,000.
Okay.
I've got another house, which is around $250,000. I've got another condo, which is probably also around $200,000.
Are they all owned free and clear?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes, they are.
Good for you.
Yeah.
Way to go.
You've done great, Donna. Did you know about his debt going into the marriage?
I didn't. I knew what happened is his wife, his previous wife, handled all the finances. She was a stay-at-home. She did some funky stuff with their finances, and he thought his student loans were paid off. He didn't realize until suddenly he didn't get a tax refund one year that he was in default. He didn't even know.
Got it.
So it really was like a big shock. And then, he just sometimes men just ignore things. Yeah, I think it was too emotionally overwhelming for him, and he pretty much just put it to the side. So I knew there was something. I didn't realize.
How many years did he put it to the side?
Probably about 13 years total.
Okay.
Holy
so
smokes.
There's enough of a that the shock has worn off, and then we can address reality that he chose not to, though.
Right.
Okay.
Well, now
that's got to bother you, right? Does that bother you?
Sure, of course it does.
Okay.
Of course it does. Yeah, sure. But right now, I'm committed to the relationship. I'm committed to my husband.
Good.
And
That's great.
I want to figure out.
And you guys are in your, 50? Did you say you're
57 and 66?
Okay.
He's 66. I'm 57.
Okay.
Yeah.
And why does he have no, what's he been doing? Like with retirement and all that?
He pretty much gave everything to her in the divorce. Sort of one of those situations.
It was like no contest, just give her what she wants.
Give her what she wants. Yeah.
Is he working?
He works for me. Actually, I have a business.
Okay.
So he does work for me. Yeah.
Okay. How much is he making?
We just have him making something like around $50,000. So we've been keeping it low. You know, we do sort of, W-2.
Is real estate your business? Is that your business?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there's, I hear two things going on here. I think you're committed to this guy. Great. I think that you need to reach over and probably sell one of these condos and then go into the joint funds and pay this thing off. That's probably the choice that I would make. I think you guys, I'm worried that, and I'm going to say this ever so delicately, there's a balance of power here that feels off.
Yeah.
And I think that if you don't address certain things, it's going to cause issues down the line. And I think you need to sit with accounts. Do you see what I'm saying? I think you need to understand that completely. You need to sit with somebody and work through this, because it almost feels like you're kind of just taking care of this guy. And it shouldn't feel like that. You should feel like you're in a marriage where equal people are really contributing. Whatever it is they're going to contribute, but you should feel good about it.
If you've got collectors breathing down your neck and you're drowning in credit card debt, you don't need another debt relief company trying to sell you sunshine and unicorns. You need real help. And Guardian Litigation Group is the real deal. They're not a call center. They're actual attorneys. That means when a creditor tries to sue you, they can step into the courtroom and fight back. Now listen, debt settlement isn't pretty. It's not a magic wand, and I'd prefer you get out of debt the old-fashioned way. But if you're staring down bankruptcy and you've got no other way out, Guardian gives you a path to clean up the mess without paying a dime up front. Guardian's attorneys have helped over 55,000 people across the nation settle over $600 million of debt. So if you're ready to take back control of your life and stop cringing every time the phone rings, go to guardianlit.com/Ramsey. That's guardianlit.com/Ramsey.
Paid endorsement, attorney advertising, Guardian Litigation Group, LLP. Not available in Minnesota and Oregon. Results vary and no specific outcome is guaranteed. Debt settlement may negatively affect credit and not all creditors will negotiate or settle. Savings vary and may be taxable. Please review our website terms for more information.
Welcome back to The Ramsey Show. Up next, we have Brent in Cincinnati, Ohio. Hey, Brent, welcome to the show.
Hi, Rachel.
Hello, how can we help?
So I'm wondering if I'm able to purchase a car for my wife. We've been leasing to own for the 3 years, and upcoming December, we can purchase it for $19,000.
Oh.
The same car is valued at $23,000.
Okay. So you've been leasing it for 3 years. What was it worth when you started? I'm just wondering how much it's depreciated.
How much? No, how much was it worth? $28,000.
Okay. And now it's worth 19, but you're saying you've seen it other places for 23. Is that what you're telling me?
Yes, with the same mileage, the same year. So it looks like a good deal.
Yeah. Do you have the money? And do you like the car?
We like the car, but we don't have the money, so we'd be getting a loan through my credit union.
Oh. And what's the alternative? You just give it up?
Yes.
Do you
so
have any?
My wife's very attached to the vehicle and doesn't really want to consider any cheaper options.
Yeah. Listen, I can understand that. Go ahead.
Well, yeah. Why is she attached to it? She just likes it a lot?
She likes it a lot.
Okay. Well, the fact that she's not going to be able to consider, is she sitting there with you, Brent? Tell her hi for us.
Yeah.
What's her name?
Elizabeth.
Hey, Elizabeth.
Hi, Elizabeth. Yeah, I mean, when you put yourself in a position when you purchase something and say, well, I'm just not, I don't want to look at anything cheaper, you've kind of already made your decision. I mean, if you guys don't have the money and you don't want to look at anything cheaper, I mean, I guess the only thing that you guys have decided at that point is, yeah, you're going to take a loan out and buy the car. We would advise you differently. And so you called the show, so we'll give you our advice. I don't know if you're going to want to take it, because what you realize is you've been basically renting this car for 3 years.
In the most expensive way possible.
In the most expensive way, yeah. And I know, you can't really tell the interest rate on a leased car, but when people, actually ratio it out, it's high. It's usually more expensive than if you went and got a traditional car loan.
Like 14%.
So then you're going to take a $19,000 loan, pay interest on that, and then we're going to look up in 4 to 5 years, and this $19,000 car is going to go down to probably $10,000 or $12,000 in value. So when it comes to cars, it is one of the places that, financially speaking, it's kind of one of the dumbest debts you can get into from a financial perspective, because again, you're borrowing money and paying more on that borrowed money because of interest on an asset that's going down in value, versus like a house, a mortgage, right? You take out a mortgage, you do pay interest on that loan, but the value of that home is going up at the same time. So the car itself is not a wise purchase to make when you don't have cash for it. So my next question to you guys would be, do you have any cash available to you?
Do we have? No, we don't.
Okay.
We're still trying to get over some credit card debt.
Okay.
Good.
How much debt do you guys have?
We have $4,000 on the credit card,
Okay.
and then we have a few monthly payments.
What are those?
We're paying off our wedding rings, which we have $7,000 left over.
Okay.
And then we have some a personal loan we're paying back my parents, which we owe about $2,500 left.
Okay.
And
Perfect.
I'm doing $500 every paycheck.
Okay.
So about towards the end of January, the $500 a month will clear up.
Okay. How much do you guys make a year?
Close to $40,000 a year.
Combined?
Yes.
Are you both working?
My wife is looking at getting a new job that could make more money soon, but we just don't have the money yet. And I don't want to make decisions on we'll have more money later.
Yeah,
I
that's
want
right.
to make the decision on
For sure.
what we have now.
Absolutely, which is very wise. Very, very wise. So yeah, a $40,000 income, there's no way I would take a $19,000 loan for a car.
No.
You can't afford it.
Do you guys have kids yet?
No, not yet.
Listen, I'm going to throw something wild out here and roll it over in your minds and in your hearts tonight. But she's not working yet. You don't have children. When it comes time for this lease, like, you let it go. But if you have to be a one-car family for a couple of months while you save up, what's the harm in that? Just a thought.
Yeah.
I suggest that. My husband and I did that while we were trying to get out of debt.
Mm-hmm.
We got rid of one of our vehicles and we were upside down, but we got a small loan for it to get out of it. And then we had just our single car. We paid it off. And then we actually found that it was doable for us for quite a while, and we stayed that way. And then when it was time for us to have a second car, we bought it in cash. And for you guys in this season of your life, that actually might work out better for you than a lot of other couples, because she's not really working yet.
And I'm going to say this, Brent, and I'm going to be very as kind and fun as Rachel is. It just comes through. But what the life you guys just described to us from a financial perspective only is so normal.
Mm-hmm.
You have a personal loan to the parents for, I'm not sure why. You got wedding rings. You didn't have the money, so you guys took out a loan. You have some credit card debt. You have a car lease. Like, y'all are the normal Americans out there. But the problem is, Brett, normal is broke. Normal is 78% of Americans today are living paycheck to paycheck, meaning if you miss a paycheck, you don't have enough to cover your bills. So if you guys decide that you want to continue to live normally, then what you guys have so far decided is that. And normal would be to go just keep the $19,000 car because you like it. That is normal. And you will have normal results because of it. But what we encourage people is to flip all of that onto their head and actually say, what is the weirdest thing we can do? Because if I get the results of normal, which is paycheck to paycheck living and not being able to build wealth and not being able to invest or save for the future or have any amount of money in savings, like, I don't want to be normal. That's not where I want to be. And if you guys look at each other tonight and say, we don't want to be that. We want to be people that have no debt. We have an emergency fund.
Yeah.
We're actually funding some retirement for the future. We have a house that we can afford. It doesn't stress us out. We have margin in our budget. Like, this life that can be created, Brett, is possible. Totally possible. But you can't get there if you keep doing normal things. So what Jade's saying is a one-car family for a couple that doesn't have kids. Is that inconvenient? Yeah. Is that weird? Yeah. But you know what? You don't have a car payment, because that car payment on that $19,000 car, it's going to be $600 that you guys don't have. Like, so you have to make different decisions if you want different results, Brett. And that's going to mean not taking out a loan for a car. For you guys, the reality is a one-car family. It's saying goodbye to my emotions, saying goodbye to what I want and what I love and all the things that got me to this place. And you put all that aside and you guys are like, we're adults.
Yeah.
We're adults. And we're going to make adult-like decisions, and we don't have the money. We can't afford this car. You can't afford this car, Brett. At $40,000, you can't afford half of your annual income going to the value of a car. Like that, it's not good. That's not wise. And I would be working like crazy to get your income up. And I would start working to get out of debt. I mean, you guys could get all this paid off. Your debt's not crazy. I mean, it's, $2,500, $4,000. Like, you guys can get this cleaned up really fast. If you just say, we're going to be weird and we're going to work 60 hours a week because we don't have kids and we're going to take side hustles. We're going to drive Uber, right? I mean, like,
here's Brent. Let me put this in perspective. Here's a couple of interesting statistics about cars, because I want you to never go and have a car payment again. Number one, Rachel just said 78% of the people living paycheck to paycheck, right? 85% of people who get a car take out a loan or a lease to get it. And I think that's a very interesting correlation.
Almost everybody, which is almost the same percentage of people living paycheck to paycheck.
Yep.
And for most people, that car payment is about $525 a month, which is very close to where you guys were at. And I mean,
if you invested that instead of give it to a car company, what would that be, Jade?
Well, think about it. Most new car payments are over a term of 6 years. If you had listened to us and invested that money over the last 6 years, you'd have $85,000 instead of a car debt that's gone down in value. And so,
be weird, Brent. Be weird.
You know, one of the first things I discovered working in the financial world is how absolutely devastating it is when the breadwinner of a family dies and there's too little life insurance or none at all. Grieving families are suddenly left behind, scrambling to pay bills and trying to make ends meet. I also discovered that there are a lot of rip-offs in the life insurance world, like that whole life crap posing as an investment opportunity. What you need is level term life insurance, usually 10 to 12 times your income, which is the smartest, most affordable way to protect your family. The key is finding an independent broker who represents a ton of companies and works for you, not for the insurance company. This is exactly what my friend Jeff Zander and his team at Zander Insurance are all about. They shop the term life companies to find you the best options, and they've been around for over 95 years. So you know they'll be there when you need them. Zander is the real deal. And that's why they've handled all my personal insurance for over 25 years. I trust them, and you can too. Visit Zander.com for instant online quotes, or for a more personal touch, give them a call at 800-356-4282.
We're always thankful for the listeners of this show, the people that view it on YouTube and watch us.
Yes.
But one of the best ways to help spread the word is to share the show with the people that you know, your friends, your family, even on your social media feeds. But even subscribing, leaving reviews, all of that helps, because with the algorithms of today, when you're able to get this show in front of people that may not know about it, just like our last caller, he just said he just found us like 2 days ago on YouTube.
On Facebook.
Yeah, or on Facebook. Is that what it was said? And and it's great because we want to be able to help people. That's our goal for the show. And the more people we can help, the better we're doing at our jobs. That's the way we look at it. So thank you again, you guys, for subscribing and sharing. We really, really appreciate it. All right, up next, we have Wanda in Los Angeles. Hey, Wanda, welcome to the show.
Hi, thank you so much. It's really a pleasure to be on the show. Thank you for taking my call. So I do apologize if I'm hyperverbal. It's the excitement and the coffee coupled together.
You're good, Wanda. You're great. How can we help?
So I recently got a divorce, and I owe my husband $50,000, and I'm not quite sure where to take the money from or borrow the money from for the $50,000. I don't have any money in my savings. I owe $25,000 on my car, $12,000 to my 401k, and my other expense is my home, and my mortgage is $2,470 a month. I looked into refinancing. I really don't want to refinance my house because my interest rate on my house is 2.25%.
Yeah.
And so I've been looking at other like HELOCs, personal loans, but personal loan is like 12%. The HELOC is 10%, and I just don't know which
so
way
Wanda,
to go.
Yeah, the $50,000, is it because of the house? Like, are you supposed to give him the equity?
Yes, I'm supposed to give him the equity out of the house. Originally, I was supposed to give him $150,000, but he knows that he didn't put any money into the house or anything like that. Mm-hmm. So he settled and said, "I'll take $50,000." So I'm just trying to figure out the best course to give him the $50,000. I did take on a second job. I've been working the second job now for about 3 months. I haven't received any monies for it because I just haven't turned in the invoices.
Sure.
Because
what's the time frame that you owe the $50K?
It's supposed to be because we went back to court, so it's 30 days after the court ruling, and I got the court ruling in the mail 2 weeks ago. So
Ooh.
I have, yeah.
So
Yeah.
basically in 2 to 3 weeks, it's due.
Yes.
Okay. So let me kind of set the stage for this right quick. Is his name on the mortgage? Like, is he on the deed or the title of the house?
It is.
So typically what would happen if you're divorced, you would do a refinance to get his name off of it, and you would do a cash out refinance so that you could also pull the $50K out, give him his money, and now you're free and clear from that. But I see why you don't want to do that because of the interest rate. But now double check this because I'm not sure, but I feel like you can, when you refinance, you don't necessarily have to refinance the entire
mortgage. Yeah.
But just the amount that you're
a portion of it.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so a portion of it would be at the old interest rate and a portion of it would be at the new interest rate.
Yeah. Have you talked to your lawyer, Wanda, about different options because considering it's because of the house and his name is on it, so you are going to have to get his name off the home.
Yeah.
Right. So what I was advised was, I actually talked to the accountant. And so what I was advised to do was to do a quick deed to take his name off the title. And if he agrees to stay on the loan, let his name stay on the loan. Because if I ask him to take his name off the loan, they may make me refinance anyways, and then I lose the 2.25. And so he said he was agreeable with his name being on the loan, and he would just quick deed the home into my name.
Yeah. A quick deed is definitely a great option when it comes to the situation. Yeah, I mean, and we never tell people to go and take on debt, but there is a point that you're going to be owed this from a legal standpoint, and so you have to give that money. And Wanda, you don't have it right now, and so I don't want to see you take equity out of your home and get into that mess of a HELOC or anything like that. So it may just have to be a personal loan.
Okay, even though the interest rate for the personal loans is just through the roof. Well,
from the court of law, you have to give this money. So either, Wanda, you sell your home and, you know what I mean, take the equity and pay him what he's due, and you have to go find a new situation. Are you able to sustain the home that you're in?
Oh, most definitely. Most definitely. Okay. Definitely. Yeah. The house is now worth almost $700,000. When we purchased the house, it was at $391,000. And so I'm
How much do you owe on it? How much do you owe on it?
$360,000.
Okay.
And in California, I can't buy another house at $391,000, and not in the area that I live in anyway.
Sure. What? How much do you make? How much are you making?
I make $188,000 a year.
Good for you, Wanda. And you're bringing how much are you bringing home after taxes and insurance and everything per month? What's your take home pay?
A little over $6,000.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, and your mortgage payment's $2,000. Yeah, so you're in.
And that's the reason why I got a second job too, because whatever I do, I want to chop it down. With the second job,
for sure,
I just haven't received any, because I don't know which way to go with that yet.
100%. Yeah, I mean, you're kind of stuck between, a hard place. I don't want you to make a bad decision with your home. I think that would be unwise. So it's not this idea that and it's one thing if you couldn't afford the payment on your income, but you're able to sustain that, which is wonderful and great. But yeah, I would do the quick deed. I would again ask the accountant again, wrap back around and just ask what Jade was talking about, and if there's a way to take a portion of it, where you're able to pay him out of it. And the entire loan is not then, subject to the new interest rates, because that would not be smart.
And it's a blessing that he dropped from $150,000 to $50,000. That's a big blessing.
Yeah. So Wanda, I'm looking at this. So let's just say you have $50,000 in debt because of the divorce. You got a $25,000 car, and you got a $12,000 401k debt. 7, 8. That's $87,000. You make $188,000. I want you to pay this off in 18 months, Wanda.
Yeah, that's why I got a second job.
Yeah, which I'm so proud of you. Seriously,
put all the money to it.
Yeah, and that's the thing is, that when you look at this high income, I'm like, man, this is. And I know you're in Southern California, so it doesn't go as far as it would in Kansas City or something. I get it. But man, you have a lot on your side, Wanda. But from this point forward, I want you to draw that line in the sand and say no more. I'm not doing car payments. We're not doing credit cards. We're not, borrowing our 401k. Yeah. I'm living on what I make. I'm going to be, funding retirement. I'm going to be wise because, how old are you, Wanda?
55.
55. Yeah.
I'll
So
be 55 this year.
It's great. So yeah, here in 5 to 10 years, wanting to retire, and do something with your life. And you're going to be able to make a lot of progress really quickly, which I'm so excited for you. So congratulations. I'm so sorry that with the divorce and everything that's kind of brought you to this point, that's always heartbreaking and grief in and of itself. That's so hard. But you have a lot of great change ahead and a lot of things that you can do and make a big impact.
Thank goodness that he was a good guy and was like, I know I didn't put any money into this house.
Right. It could have been 150. Yeah.
I think that's the really difficult part about one of the many difficult parts about divorce is there's all these assets, and it's like somebody gets to keep the house, but if you've been living in that house together, there's also a portion of it that goes to the other spouse. And so how do they get their money? And
That's
so
right.
that's one of the frustrating things. And I know, like, during these times where interest rates, it's like, if I had it at, 2.3%, you don't want to refinance in order to with these rates. And so I think that's very painful.
Yes, for sure. Yep. And again, it's one of these things that to tackle the debt snowball method, and even looking at the car, I mean, she can pay off her car in 12 to 18 months, which 100%. Is kind of our, buffer. So she can keep the car, pay it off. It's not an outrageous, different amount considering her income.
But she never needs to borrow from her 401k ever again.
No.
Wanda, you hear me?
Thanks for calling in. This is The Ramsey Show.
The holidays are supposed to be joyful, but they can also be expensive. Between gifts, travel, and about 1,000 limited time offers, your budget can start feeling anything but merry. And that's why I love this. Boost Mobile helps you treat yourself and your wallet. Right now, you'll pay just $10 a month for your first 2 months. Then, only $25 a month for unlimited talk, text, and data. Forever. No price hikes, no contracts, no nonsense. Just reliable service that keeps your phone bill low and your holiday spirits high. So stop stressing over your budget and start saving instead. Go to boostmobile.com/Ramsey and unwrap the savings today. That's boostmobile.com/Ramsey. Restrictions apply. See boostmobile.com/Ramsey for details.
Buying or selling your home, it's a really big deal, and you want an expert in your corner fighting for you to get the best deal and the best price, honestly. It's probably your largest asset that you're ever going to buy or sell, so you want this to be a really smooth process. And the Ramsey Trusted Program is the only way to find a top agent that you can trust who will make sure that your home is a blessing and not a burden. And it's easy because you can compare agent profiles, interview them, and choose the right one that you want to work for you. So find a local trusted real estate pro for free at RamseySolutions.com/agent, or click the link in the description if you are listening to this on podcast or watching on YouTube. We mentioned in an earlier segment, Jade, that, about college and school and all of it. And it is Teacher Financial Literacy Month, or Teacher Appreciation Month and Financial Literacy Month. And we just appreciate teachers around here. I know Jade and I, we both have kids in school. And when you have teachers who are part of your own story from being in school, and now if you have kids that are in school, they're just such a gift. Like, these teachers are just absolutely incredible. We love them. So we do want to honor them. So make sure to enter our Teacher Appreciation Giveaway at rs.com/teacher.
Yes.
And we want to celebrate you. So make sure to check that out, teachers. All right, let's go to Sarah in Philadelphia. Hi, Sarah. Welcome to the show.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Absolutely. How can we help?
Okay, so just really quick. So when I turned 18, I got married to a man who's about 14 years older than me. We ended up getting a divorce. It was like a really controlling situation, but in the midst, I did get pregnant right as soon as I got married. So I have a baby now.
Oh, wow.
She's going to be 5 months in May. And so he doesn't help financially. I did stay home after I had the baby, so I was leaning on him financially. And even when we were together, I didn't go to school. So the good part is I don't have any debt or anything, but the bad part is, like, I don't have, like, a career path, because I went right into being, like, wife and mother and everything.
Sure.
And now I just, like, need help with, like,
yeah. Do you, where is your parents, your family situation through all of this, from when you got married to now?
So, we got married, and, like, my parents were not super happy with the idea of me getting married. Not because they didn't want me getting married young.
I can hear the circumstances. Yeah. And they probably picked up some things around him that they probably didn't like. being a 34-year-old,
Yeah.
you know. Yeah.
Exactly. And then, so we ended up getting a divorce. So I'm staying at my parents' now because we took together our house.
Okay. Wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, and it's okay. Actually, his family has been, not his family, his brother and his brother's wife have been great throughout this. They let me stay in their house for 2 weeks without, like, charging me anything. They were super helpful. When everything happened, they were like, listen, whatever you need, we're here for you. Like, his brother's wife will call me every day. His brother was always like, hey, if you need any help with the baby, like, we're here.
Yeah, that's great. You need that community right now. Like, if you have that to depend on, I would, because the truth is, if you are going to get out of this, it's going to require you working some hours, like working a full-time job probably to support your family, and childcare is going to be a huge piece of this. So the question then becomes is what can you do for money, right?
Yeah. So thankfully I'm staying home with my mom. Like, my parents are thankfully well off, so like it's a place that I can stay and I don't have to worry about, like, well, what about the bills? What about, my parents are like okay with all that stuff. It's just like, I just don't know where to go from here.
What
it's not like I'm in any danger right now. I just don't know.
Yeah. The next steps for you, right, in life. Yeah. Because you'll be, turning 20 and all of it. Okay. So just because of what you've gone through, Sarah, from a divorce standpoint, having a child, and I never want to minimize someone because of their age, but I am going to say because you're 19. I mean, like, you're a kid, right? You're still a teenager, technically 19, right? So all of those factors, I do want to give you so much grace. Like, you're still a teenager. You're still figuring out how the world works, let alone the responsibility and the events that you've walked through a divorce already, right? So, like, we have a lot of time here, Sarah. There is I do not feel like this is a rushed situation. There's a lot of grace
I just
here.
feel like I'm like sliding down.
You're not
like a hill,
Oh yes, yeah. If you feel probably out of control, so I understand that. Yes, but you're not sliding down in an responsible way financially or something, right? You're fine. Okay, so I just want you to.
Like I have no debt. If I have a lot on credit cards, it's like $40. Like, I have no debt. Sure. I have money saved up. I just don't know what to do.
Yep. Is the divorce final? Is all of that done? Any legal bills or anything outstanding there? So that's finished. And does he have any responsibility, like, from the divorce? Any child support coming in?
I have
any
to
joint?
Still.
I'm sorry.
Oh, okay. She has to file for child support.
So this has only been a month. I have to file still. And
file for divorce or child support?
Yeah, file for just divorce.
So you're not okay. So it's not even okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Good to know.
And so that's why I'm like, I feel like everything is explained.
Do you have a good lawyer? Do you have someone?
I don't.
Legal representation? I don't. Okay, so that would be step one. That's going to be step one.
Yeah.
Is to find someone in your area who's a great divorce lawyer. I mean, you're going to want somebody there supporting you and representing you. So I would honestly, Sarah, I would make that step one is to find that person because when you file it's about to snowball into a lot of things, and you're going to probably, you or your parents will be paying for some of this too. So that would be my first goal. Find somebody and then figure out, okay, from a money standpoint,
how is this working?
How much are we going to have, because that's going to allow you to know where
he hasn't helped with the baby since she was born.
And he might
even while we were
it'll
married.
Probably take a court order for him too, and even still he might not. And so for you, I think...
Yeah, I'm just trying to figure out, like, what I do without... like, I'm trying not to depend on him at all, because I know
don't depend on him. Don't depend on him right now. What Rachel says, right? First step, you get the divorce lawyer. Second step, you sit down with mom and dad and say, okay, we're getting the divorce lawyer. How do we pay for this? And find out what help you have and what help you don't have. And in that same conversation, that's also a good time to figure out, okay, mom and dad, like, this thing is happening. I don't live with him anymore. And kind of figure out create a plan and a vision for the future, right? It's how long can I stay here? What's that gotta look like? And guys, everybody set really clear expectations of what that means. Can I stay here for a year? Can I stay here for it? And really talk this through, because then when you know what the plan is, you'll feel better, and then you'll know what you can actually focus on. If you know that you have 12 months and then at the 12-month point, your parents expect you to either start paying some sort of rent, or I don't know what you'll decide, but then that will inform, okay, what do I need to do next?
Yeah, and I would say too, because we always do talk about that expectation, like what Jade's saying. And in this case, Sarah, maybe that expectation is dependent upon your next step and how long the divorce takes. It may even be if you need to go back to school, and while you're in school, you can stay with them, right? So it's kind of mapping out. And again, this is not in a rush, Sarah, for you. I really don't feel like you have to do all of this tonight by any means, but this is kind of your next big steps is finding the lawyer, filing, starting that process. And then in the meantime, because it's good for you, Sarah, to be thinking through, what does my future look like, to Jade's point. So what is the next steps? What does it look like? And just paint a broad stroke of like, okay, if I'm 23, what does it look like for me to self-sustain?
That's right.
To pay rent, all that. Do I need a college degree to do that? Do I love accounting, and I probably need to go get, a degree in that?
I've actually worked as like a secretary for several construction businesses. I like doing that.
Okay, so admin, administration is probably really high up in your skill set. Yeah, so finding those kind of things and then backing out from there and saying, okay, would I be able just to plug in with one or two businesses around to be able just to start working, maybe in the next 6 months. And that's great. Or do I need to go back to school, right? And then with your parents being that safety net for you right now, how much are they willing to be a safety net financially for you right now? And from a time housing perspective, what Jade is saying. But Sarah, stay on the line. I'm going to get you Ken Coleman's book, Find the Work You're Wired to Do, because that'll help in that mindset. And I think it could just be refreshing to you to have a level of grasp and control over your future. But I'm so sorry about all of this, and we just pray that it's a smooth process for you from here on out. Thanks for the call. Welcome back to The Ramsey Show in the Fairwinds Credit Union studio. I'm Rachel Cruze with Jade Warshaw, and we're going to Gabrielle in Los Angeles, California. Hi, Gabrielle. Welcome to the show.
Hello, Jade. Hello, Rachel. It's Gabriel. Sorry.
Oh, Gabriel. Gosh, I'm sorry. My bad. Thank you, Gabriel, for the
no worries.
For the fix. How can we help?
All right. I was calling on behalf of my mom. She's 72. She's a widow who never remarried. Currently, she's retired. She's active in her church, and she has a home that's almost paid off. It doesn't include taxes and insurance, but lately she's been asking me for money. It started off small, but it's starting to escalate. How can I help her protect her being independent, but also set up her finances wisely for the future without becoming dependent on me or my siblings?
Yeah, for sure. How old are you?
I'm 40.
You're 40, okay. And her house is almost paid off. Is she still working?
She's not.
Okay, so she's retired. Do you have any idea numbers of what's in her retirement?
She's currently receiving, as far as her retirement savings, I believe she's exhausted them.
Okay.
So she's currently, the only income coming in is Social Security.
Do you know what that is?
I believe it was like $1,100, $1,300 possibly.
Oh, wow. And do you
She's
know
living on the bare minimum.
Do you know what her mortgage is and what she has left on the mortgage in full?
So the mortgage currently outstanding balance is around $100K.
Okay.
And then the mortgage payment is around, I'd say, $1,450.
Oh gosh. Okay. Well, yeah. So
how is she paying for everything?
Right now, I have my oldest sister who's living with her, and I believe they're splitting the cost of the mortgage.
Okay. So they're half and half. Okay. So that's $700. And then everything else, I mean, is she able to pay for, is your sister splitting other bills? Do you know, like electricity, water, all of that?
Yeah. So from what I understand is that my other siblings, she approaches each sibling individually and asks for help.
Yeah.
Whether it's covering a bill or a few dollars here and there.
Yeah.
So.
It's for real needs. It's not for...
Yeah. Is she able-bodied to go to work? Is she able to work?
She is able-bodied. However, she hasn't worked in some time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's so hard. I mean, the reality is she either if she has no money and all she's getting is Social Security, it's not enough, to your point. When taxes are due for property tax. I mean, when she pays off the house, she's going to have to pay for property tax and all that.
What's the home worth? I'm just curious. If she were to sell it, what would it be worth?
Conservatively, probably about $1.1 million. It's a 5-bedroom, 3-bath. As far as her renting out the rooms, that's also been thrown around, but
I hate that for her.
This would require me involving myself.
Yeah.
I'm just wondering about
everything.
Is there like a go ahead, Jade?
I'm just wondering, because my head is that she's 72, she's still fairly young, and she's in good health. She could live till 92, right? So in my mind, I look at $1 million that she stands to take away from this, and I go, okay, we can throw a decent amount and invest it and start that fund going, and then maybe she can buy a condo for $250 or $300. I mean, you're in Los Angeles. I don't know what's there, what's possible. Can she buy something that's very small just for her? And then your sister goes and does her own thing? Because I'm also thinking, what happens if the sister moves out and gets married or moves on in life, right? So there's a lot of variables here. I'd love for her to get some hands on that money, get some of it invested, and get some of it in a smaller, modest living space for her.
Yeah, I think that's what I envision for her. I just don't know where to start. I think if I do get the ball rolling, I'm seeing it through start to finish. So where would I start?
Well, I would start with, is everybody in Los Angeles, like your whole family, or do you have family that lives in less expensive areas of the country?
No, we're all basically based out of the Los Angeles area.
Okay. Have you looked at, or would you know, price ranges of, again, a very modest 1-bedroom condo that she could purchase?
1-bedroom, 1-bath condo, purchase outright. Possibly in the areas that we're in, like around, outskirts.
Well, yeah, because she's got to be able to afford it.
400.
400, okay.
Okay. So then she could invest 500,
Yeah.
I'm not mad at that.
And get that ball rolling. And then, again, if she's able to not pull from those investments and maybe for just 3 years work somewhere just to pay just the, just mortgage. I'm sorry, not mortgage. Hopefully it's paid for.
Yeah. Taxes.
Lights, water, food, and just not touch that money as long as possible and let it grow and then live off of that. Because it's either going to be that or you guys as grown kid adults all have to say, okay, mom's not going to be able to afford this long term. Are we going to be willing to support her in it? So that would have to be a conversation that you guys have.
Will she sell? If you imagine yourself bringing this up to her, what does that look like?
The last time that I brought up the conversation to her, it was emotional. For her. For me, it's pretty straightforward. I mean, the way that we're talking right now is the way that I talk with her. And, she's open to it. But again, she kind of pushes the work onto me. So, and so do my siblings. In all honesty,
do they kind of look to you, your sisters too, to say, like, what do you think?
No, they don't have an opinion as far as what she should do. They feel that, it's our home that we grew up in and that she should hold on to it. And she's only got such and such ways to go.
Listen, there's no getting around the fact that this is emotional. Like I'm telling people all the time, that plays such a factor in how we manage the money. But if we look at the numbers, the math is not emotional. She doesn't have any money. She doesn't have anything, and she's healthy. She has a lot of years ahead of her. So she's got to get to the point where the discomfort of staying the same is more uncomfortable than changing, right? And she's going to start to feel the cracks in that when you guys stop supplying the money, if that makes sense. The more that you got, and it's your choice, but the more that you say, okay, we'll float it, just know that
it'll float through
for the next 20 years. Yeah. So you guys have to kind of get on the same page of saying, we can talk to her about this, but if she doesn't do it, we have to allow her to feel it, because when she feels it is when she's going to realize, okay, I have a difficult choice to make, and just try to support her as much as you can. And it is emotional. It is tough. It's your family home. There's nothing comfortable about that, but the solution often lies outside the comfort zone. So
it sounds like my next steps might be like two-part, right? It's kind of initiating that conversation with my mom about selling the home, possibly. And then as far as with my siblings, it's having that conversation. If we're going to do this, we need to stop enabling her and giving her money, essentially.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's what I would do. And even pull some options. You can even get in touch with one of our real estate pros. Mm-hmm. Yeah, just to look for the area, like what's in the areas of where you guys are, just different options condo-wise. And there could be one a mile down, so she doesn't have to move major locations, right? Maybe it's just the actual home itself. Right. But run some numbers and kind of get some more facts around it. But yeah, this is difficult. When it comes to debt or building wealth, people often can forget an important step when it comes to reaching their goals, and that's having insurance. And having the right coverage, or too little or too much, can really impact how long it takes you to build wealth. So skimping on insurance might feel like saving, but when life happens, it is not great, because you may not have a safety net that you need, and we don't want debt to be that safety net. So the right insurance acts as a shield around your loved ones and your wallet if disaster strikes. And in some cases, it can save you money if you're paying too much for insurance. So how do you know if you have the right coverage? Make sure to take the Coverage Checkup. It's an online free resource that creates a personalized insurance action plan for you that's unique to your situation. And it makes an overly confusing topic really easy to understand and gives you the next step specifically for you and your situation. So go to RamseySolutions.com/checkup to take the Coverage Checkup, or click the link in the description if you are watching on YouTube or listening on podcast. Up next, we have Derek in San Jose. Hi, Derek. Welcome to the show.
Hey, Rachel. I'm a big fan, and it's a real honor to speak with you. Thanks so much for taking my call.
Absolutely. Thanks for calling in. How can we help?
So I recently got engaged. My fiancé and I are both 36 years old. We're looking to start a Brady Bunch. We've got 5 kids between 10 and 12 between us.
Oh, wow. Between 10 and 12? Is that what you said?
Yeah, I have twin sons who are 11, and she has a 10-year-old, 11-year-old, and 12-year-old.
Oh, my gosh. That's going to be a house full. That's fun. So great.
Yeah, it's been really fun. Yep. So the reason I'm calling is because we have a pretty large difference in assets. And I think based on your advice, the advice would be that we should get a prenup. So I have roughly $12 million, and she has roughly $50,000. And so we started the process of looking into a prenup, and it's been an emotional one. And I totally understand why. And I think especially, like, we went through a questionnaire talking together about it. But then when we got the first draft back from my lawyer, that's when she's really not been feeling good about it. And I understand the concern. So, I mean, she feels like I wouldn't be fully entering the marriage in the same way that she is, because it feels like I'm holding assets like separately off to the side. And I'm sensitive to that, and especially in some of the context of her former relationship. And so I'm just looking for maybe more clarity and like what you guys would recommend.
Oh, man, this is a hard one because I think it is a wise decision to do one. And I say that even more. I have a friend who's going through not a great situation, and she came in with a lot more, and now he's just, it's just messy. It's messy. And there's a level, again, you're hoping and praying, obviously, that this is the one and that it's going to last a lifetime. Mm-hmm. But as you guys have experienced, there is a reality to all of this. And whenever any of us get married, right, I think there is like this, okay, I'm choosing you for a reason and for a lifetime. But we also don't live under a rock and know that things change in life. And situations come up, and unfortunately some really hard things happen, and does causes marriages to break up, right? To enter into divorce, and we don't want that. So what were I'm curious, what were the parts of it that was making her, because you guys went through a questionnaire together, and it didn't sound like the questionnaire brought up a lot of red flags, but when she was actually like reading it, does she feel like she won't be taken care of if something happens, or like what's that underlying?
That's a concern. Yeah. Yes. And I think especially like, her kids as well too. And it's something that I want to address, and I think we could address like in a will or like some other document or method after we get married. And it's something that I want to do. Like I absolutely would want her and her kids to be taken care of too if something, didn't happen to us. I think it also, it feels very condescending to her that like that either she, and I don't see it being a problem for her at all. Like my goal in this, and I think that's what your advice is that in our case, that I know is rare, it would help protect our marriage. And that's what I want to do. But I totally understand that she feels it's condescending, like to her, maybe her and her family and her friends, that they might be a problem, and that we would need this to like protect against them.
Can I ask how like stringent this prenup is, like how strict it is? Because when I've heard calls about this before, my question is always, is there a way that this can be more progressive, that maybe over time and over years, some of the restrictions fall off? Like, does that make sense to where it's like the longer we're together and the more that this feels right, some of this starts to fall off, and now we start to become one, and after a while it's all gone and we are one? Is there anything built in like that?
So there's nothing currently built in like that. So other than that, it's pretty basic. So everything we enter into the marriage with is separate property, except she has a small amount of debt, and she's been awesome about eliminating debt, especially the situation she came from. But I don't want her to carry it all. Like we would just pay it off. And then everything after the date of the marriage is shared. So income that I make or she made, we just share it. Our plan is that she would stop working. She'd be able to be home with all these kids.
Does that include interest on the $12 million, like as that grows, or does any growth on that $12 million remain yours?
Yeah, so at least as it's currently structured, the growth in that would remain mine. I think we have talked about, it's not in the document, but like if I were to stop working to also help with the kids, which would be an option, like that the income that we drew from that would be considered our income.
I think I would. I'd be wondering about that if I were entering in that marriage. Like, how can we protect what you've already created, but how can I be a player and how that grows from here on out? Like, how can I be a part of that? I think I might be wondering about that. That's tough, man.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, and then the only other additional part is we're planning to get a house, and I was just going to buy the house. We title it in both of our names and just consider it community property.
Yeah, well, it sounds like you're being very gracious about this, Derek. I think it's such a hard line to be wise in a situation, and you don't sound like you're drawing these crazy hard lines, and you know what I mean? And you're pushing it like it's, your tone feels very humble and gracious, which I think she probably very much appreciates. I'm trying to think if I were in her position, which you never can fully do for somebody, there's a part of me that, I don't know, I think I would understand you're coming in with $12 million. Yeah. And I understand that's not mine right now, right? Like I don't know.
Yeah, this one's hard for me. I see.
Are you an anti-prenup?
No, I'm not. I would not go that far. I think it's just it is a very tough way to start out a marriage, clearly.
Yes.
Because we're dividing yours versus mine.
Yep.
And everything else in the marriage is we say we, us, our. So it is tough. And if you're a person, I'll put myself in the shoes. Me, I've always viewed, when you enter a marriage, it's like this.
Yes.
You don't know who you're going to fall in love with. And that person happens to be loaded. And now suddenly you're like, this picture I had of it being ours is not possible. That's just tough. I'm not saying it's wrong. It's just tough.
Yeah. Well, and I think too, Derek, I think it's too, I think it can feel like the 12 million's off in this corner and we're never going to participate in it. But I think it comes into it's mine if something happens. But up until that point, it's ours. Like we're sharing assets.
That's a good point. That is a very good point.
Like we are living our lives together as one. But for some reason, if something ever happened in a divorce, this part still goes back to me. Does that make sense? I wonder if framing it.
That's a good way to frame it because that
with her because it can be hers, right? Like you guys can share in this. It's the only time it's not hers is if you guys legally go through a divorce. Does that make sense?
Yeah. It totally makes sense. And that is how we want to live going into the marriage.
Yeah, and it sounds like and that sounds like your attitude because you're going to take some of our money and we're going to buy a house together with this money and use this money for our family. So I think it's such a fine line, Derek. I mean, it's so hard, but I think I would keep and bring in a third party. If there's a great marriage counselor or therapist, honestly, it's something to think through and even get other opinions because you want to be on the same page with this. The all-new Every Dollar is here, and it is way more than just the incredible budgeting app that it is. It now has tons of advanced features to help you make progress with your money so much faster. And the average person is finding thousands of dollars in margin in just the first 15 minutes. So get Every Dollar for free starting today. Just get it in the App Store or Google Play. All right, let's go to Alex in Grand Rapids, Michigan. Hey, Alex, welcome to the show.
Hi there. Thanks so much for taking my call.
Absolutely.
So I'm 28 and debt free. I'm looking to buy a tiny house to put on my parents' property without a credit score now. And a tiny house technically not qualifying for a mortgage. How do I go about getting a loan for it?
Well, let's talk about the loan process and then we'll talk about the tiny house on your parents' property. So with the loan process, if you have no credit score, you're just going to have to find a place that does manual underwriting for that. Now, we would recommend Churchill Mortgage. There are companies that do that, and you just have to check and make sure they'll do it in your area. But it's the same process. You're just going to have to show different trade lines. You're going to have to show your pay stubs. You're going to have to show proof of income. If you work for yourself, you're going to have to show your tax returns, that sort of thing. But for the most part, the process is the same.
But how much? But you're saying it doesn't qualify for a mortgage because it's a tiny house?
Correct. Yeah. So if it's under 400 square feet, I'm looking at about 250 square feet. It doesn't qualify for a mortgage.
What's the cost of it?
I'm looking at about $40,000 to $50,000.
Oh, well, save up and pay for it, Alex.
I'm sorry?
Save up and pay for it. It's like a car.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, I only have about $10,000.
Okay. Well, then just wait a little bit. Yeah. So just be putting some money aside, $2,000-$3,000 a month, and just work your way up. And in probably 12, 18 months, then you can do it.
Can I ask the long-term strategy on this, Alex?
Yeah. So I have autism and I can't really live independently.
Okay.
So it's pseudo-independent being on my parents' property.
Got you. Okay. What are you doing for work?
I coordinate volunteers for hospice.
Cool.
And are your parents involved at all, Alex, in this process? Would they be able to help you?
Not financially, no, but they've been a great support.
Okay, great.
How long did it take you to save up the $10,000?
I just finished. I got debt free in February, and then saved up like $6,000 for my 3 to 6 month emergency fund, and it's last 6 months.
Okay. Yeah, I'm with Rachel. Just keep saving for this. It seems like you've thought through the best way for you to live, and I like that you've thought through that. I don't think you need to go into debt for this. And for anybody who is listening to my zero score spiel, that's for
a mortgage. No, but that's it. Yeah.
That are trying to do a full mortgage on zero credit score. But yeah, save up for it. I like the 40 to 50,000. Just understand that this is yours. Like the resale on this virtually doesn't exist because it's on your parents' property, and this is money that you'll likely never get back.
Yes.
So understanding that is important, I'd say.
Yep. Yeah. So running so it will, are you able to pick up extra work, Alex?
Yeah, I'm looking for a second part-time job.
Okay, good for you. You sound
right
incredible.
now.
I mean, you're very ambitious. You're very well-spoken. You know what you want. You've been doing the baby steps. You became debt-free. You got your fully funded emergency fund. I mean, you're literally doing it all. The only thing that's going to suck is like the next probably 3 years of saving for this. You know what I mean? You would just look at it like, and people want to save up for a car. They want to save up for a college education, right? And these are big numbers. I'm definitely not downplaying that. It's just, so it's going to just take you longer to do it. And even though I guess technically, I guess you could Ramsey, go through it to say, well, but a mortgage is the one type of debt, and this is for a house.
Could
but
figure out a way to do it.
But the fact that the fact that there is no resale, because the one reason we do say a mortgage not only is because it is the most expensive thing that you're ever going to purchase as a home, but also homes go up in value over time, and this is more like a car in a sense where it's going to go down in value. And so getting into debt, even a personal loan for this, financially would not be wise. So it really would be you putting money aside. And I mean, I don't know about the market in tiny homes. Can you buy used ones? Can you buy a used one?
Yeah, that's what I'm looking at. I'm looking at them on like Facebook Marketplace.
Okay. And so maybe you could even, Alex, I don't know, because for some people, they may want it off their property. There may be some urgency to get one off. So maybe you could even negotiate with them and say, hey, if I have cash, what's the lowest? You wouldn't be able to do that today because you don't have that amount. But when you're getting closer to that in, 3 years or something, I mean, you may be able to negotiate.
Okay.
For a lower price.
Thank you, guys.
Absolutely, Alex. Yep. Thanks for the call. And I think, I just wouldn't do that. I wouldn't go the debt route.
I wouldn't either. And because you never know, especially if you're already buying it used.
Yes.
What type of resale would be on maybe, selling it in the future. Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's tough.
All right, let's go to Elijah in Salt Lake City. Hi, Elijah. Welcome to the show.
Hey, how's it going? I just have a question. I am 22 years old. I'm currently going to college right now. I'm almost done with my bachelor's degree. I have only about a year left. I'm only about $14,000 in student loan debt, so almost done. But yeah, that's my only debt. No credit card debt, nothing, no car loan, nothing like that. I guess my question is, I'm looking to go into law enforcement after I graduate. I guess my question is it worth it to stay for a master's degree if I get an extra pay incentive for the rest of my career, or if I should just, once I get my bachelor's degree, take that pay incentive and just start working?
Well, what would it cost you to get your master's? How would you pay for it?
So that one would be loans. But it would be for a total about master's degree. I've been doing my research about $18,000 for the college that I'd be going to.
And what's the difference in job that you would get if you just went into the police department with a bachelor's versus a master's?
Yeah. So if I went in with a bachelor's degree, I'd be getting a 3% pay incentive for the rest of my career. If I went in with a master's degree, I'd be getting 5% pay incentive. So I guess my question is, it would take a long time to repay that, get that money worth, get that extra 2% every year. But I do really enjoy college. I do want to get married before I leave college, and I, enjoy my hobby. So I just don't know if it makes financial sense to get a master's degree.
Not on debt. Not on debt, but I'm wondering if there's a way that you can cash flow it. Are you working at all? And my next question is, do you have to do it right away, or can you work on it later while you're in law enforcement and still get the 5% bump?
Yeah, you can still get the 5% bump. I've just heard from a lot of people that, it's really hard once you're starting this full-time job to go back.
Yeah, I mean, how much are you getting paid, your first year that you're working?
So, first year, if with a bachelor's degree, would be about $90K.
Okay.
And then with a master's degree, if I came in first year, it would be about $95.
Okay. So that's my thing, is that the percentage-wise is not big. I mean, we're talking maybe a $4,000 difference, and you could do that in 2 months with a side gig.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So there's a part of me, and I know, I have friends in law enforcement, and they even move around. They get up to detective, or they, move around within it.
Yeah.
That can change your pay over time as well. So, I think if you had the money and you wanted to do it, I don't think I would stop you. But also, since you don't have the money, it's that's a no-go for me personally.
Okay, yeah. So so you wouldn't be okay with, taking out student loans for the master's degree?
No.
Okay.
No. Yeah, I'd get this paid off, and Man, I wish we had a Ramsey dating app because I feel like we get a lot of calls of some ladies that are always single, Elijah, and they're always looking for a man, and we could have pointed them your way. I know. No, I appreciate the proactiveness of love.
I do.
With him, because I do think that's great. It is. I am for getting married young and enjoy,
And what he said is
life.
true. Like, when you're in college, there's people right there to choose from. Once you get out in the world, it's like, I gotta work. I gotta go out after hours.
It's exhausting. It's absolutely exhausting.
I gotta go to an event, get dressed up. College, it's like you got your pick right there.
Got him right there. Oh, Elijah, yeah, I hope that helps. So yeah, if there's not the cash, but to Jade's point, if you're able to somehow cash flow it, or even if you get into a situation where they help pay for half of it, I don't know, your work, that would be incredible too. So I hope that helps, and yeah, good luck. Our scripture of the day comes from Philippians 3:13 through 14. One thing I do, forgetting what is behind and straining towards what is ahead, I press toward the goal to win the prize for which God has called me heavenward in Jesus Christ. Booker T. Washington said, "You measure the size of the accomplishments by the obstacles you have to overcome to reach your goals." Well, that's good.
That's really good.
Love it. Love it. Love it. All right. Up next, we have Jacob in Grand Rapids. Hi, Jacob. Welcome to the show.
How you doing? Thank you for having me.
Absolutely.
So recently this year, I've had a change in my whole money, and it's really been having, $3,000 in a checking account for emergency, putting everything else towards a high yield savings account or cash plus account to some banks, and then, maxing out my Roth IRA as much as I can every year, as well as, traditional brokerage investments. But it really got me thinking, it's like, can you live with these cash plus accounts or high yield savings accounts, considering that they accept direct deposits and bill pay and, you can deposit checks? Can you only live with using a high yield savings account with a credit card? And if so, like, what's the disadvantage with that without going through, your traditional local bank or even your commercial bank, like the bigger ones, right?
Yeah, well, from a high yield perspective, usually you have a limit on how many withdrawals you can have. So you can't use it like a full checking account. Sometimes they have a limit of 5, is what I see most of the time. And, but yeah, you will get a debit card and a checkbook with that. So you can, take money out of it, but you can't, if you think about, the expenses, I just think about my EveryDollar app, and when I open it, it's like 15 transactions, and it's like an Amazon, grocery, Netflix. So you have a lot of transactions coming out that will not, it'll exceed the limit of most high yield savings accounts.
I see.
Yep.
So there really isn't much, as long as, whatever company you go with, making sure they don't have those limits and whatnot. For a high yield, at least.
Well, they do. They will.
Yeah, a high yield usually does have a limit of how many withdrawals you can have per month. Yeah, so a traditional checking out. Now, I will say, Jacob, there are some, and we're actually kind of in talks with one right now, possibly for the Ramsey Show. There are now banks that are offering a higher percentage rate, maybe like a 2 to 3% for checking.
Just a normal checking.
Yeah, which is great, versus I think our checking's like less than 1% or something. Like, I don't think we basically get anything from it. So there may be some more on the market that are great. It wouldn't be considered a high yield savings. It would be considered a checking account. But there are some banks that are offering, usually online banks, are offering more of a higher interest rate on just a traditional checking account. So that's something you could look into if you wanted to.
No, that is true. I've been seeing that with a lot of banks. Like, I'm looking at one, like it's Vanguard, and that's the one I was looking at. It is labeled a cash plus account, so it might not be a high yield. I guess that's where my kind of question, or to myself, was a bit confusing. But the main motivation behind it is, making my money work for me, right? And making sure that
Yeah.
It's not sitting in,
Yeah, for sure.
a
But I
little
would
account.
say the account, the money you have in your checking, or the way I look at it, Jacob, is that money's sitting there not to make me money. It's to keep my life afloat. I mean, that in my investments are there to make money for me, just like you're saying. My high yield savings, it's there for a little bit of that bridge mentality of like, we have a lot, we had a good amount of money in our high yield because we were building a pool. So we were writing some checks out of it throughout this past year. But I'd rather it sit in a high yield savings versus a checking account. But yet I know my high yield savings is not where I'm going to make a ton of money. That's not why it's there. It's fine to have it sit there, some savings, because it will make more than a checking account. But I look at, for me, my investments from retirement. Winston and I have a separate mutual fund. And then we also have some real estate. So like I look at those as where my money makes money, not necessarily my high yield savings or my checking. So I wonder if from your mentality perspective, Jacob, to kind of like loosen that a little bit and maybe put some more like emotional parameters around these accounts.
I think so. It's also about the habits you're forming. Like when you tell me that, I'm thinking you're building the habit of, I have a block of savings and I can pull from that block of savings for normal every day. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
As opposed to when your checking account's in your checking account, I only use this for day-to-day purchases. And my savings over here, I only touch it if it's an emergency. And this HYSA, you know what I'm saying? So you're building those habits. And when you blur the lines like that, I think also to Rachel's point, I think it causes confusion.
Yeah.
Personally. But I wouldn't do it. There are definitely worse things you could do.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
but
for sure.
I wouldn't do it.
Yeah. Does that help?
Yeah. That's where, no, it definitely does help. And, that's where I'm going eventually. I have money set aside. I mean, a little background for an investment property, a multifamily unit. And it's just been sitting in, I think like a 0.1%. So I was like, I got to move this.
Yes,
until,
for sure.
It comes
And
time
I
to
would
buy
say
a
this.
property.
Yeah, and I would say this too, Jacob. If that, I love that real estate goal for you. And if it's going to be longer than 5 years, you could even drop that in the S&P 500 through Vanguard if you wanted.
There you go.
Like if it's longer than 5 years, you could invest it. It's going to go up and down. It's not going to be as steady as just a high yield savings. But high yield savings, you're only going to get 4 to 5%. Now, if it's less than 5 years, I wouldn't probably risk it putting in the market. But if you know it's going to be longer than 5 years, you could drop part of it, maybe not all of it, maybe some of it, maybe all of it into just the S&P.
Yeah, that is very smart because it compounds and it's relatively good performance.
Yeah, for sure. So
But,
again,
that answered my question.
Okay. Perfect. Well, thanks for the call, Jacob. You're a sharp young guy.
Young man.
To be able to be thinking about all of this, which is great. So again, you guys, just to kind of like clear that up, you want to have your checking, you want to have some savings, and we love a high yield or a money market account. But in that, you're going to have your emergency fund, some short-term savings that you're looking towards once you're debt-free, and have your fully funded emergency fund. Maybe your down payment you're saving up for could go in the high yield.
Yep.
And then beyond that, be investing. And retirement is your number one priority with investing. 15% of your income will go into that. And that's Roth IRAs, 401ks, 403bs.
Now I keep my emergency, like Sam and I keep our emergency fund in one high yield.
We do
and
too.
then we keep another high yield for like renovation, like
That's
things
what we
like
do
that.
too.
Is that what you do?
Yep, totally.
I just like it over there.
Yes, that's how I am.
Yeah.
That's how I am. I'm like, don't count that.
I like to forget it's even.
I know. And I'm such the free spirit, even though I'm like, talk about money every day for my job. But I'm always like, hey, babe, out of all their accounts, like, well, how much is in this? And he like gives me the number. I'm like, that's not including the emergency fund, is it? He's like, no, it's not including the emergency fund. I'm like,
never
good.
include the
I'm
emergency
like, I just
fund.
can't even like emotionally, go there. But yeah, those are some great questions. And we were the high yield savings, the returns have gone down a little bit. We saw them; they were crazy.
They're like 5.5 at one point.
It was wild. So that's always a thing to remember too in the economy. When interest rates go up, it's bad when you're in debt because you're having to pay that interest. But when you're earning the interest, it might be great. All right, let's go to TikTok real quick. We'll close out the show with a little TikTok.
Love that.
We got Brian, and he said, because of your show, we're living the dream. We retired early and are traveling the country in our RV, and we can't stop saving and eating cheaply. How can we eat steaks, ribs, seafood without guilt? I thought I said without a grill. I was like,
wait.
So basically, how do you enjoy life on baby step? I think they're on 7. I think they're done. They are living the dream.
So I'll give you my framework for so basically they're feeling guilty about their spending. Is that what they're saying?
But they have the money.
So I love this because Sam and I sometimes feel the same way. Like whenever you've gone through a struggle and you've sacrificed to win, it's like, oh, like you're afraid you're going to mess it all up, right?
Uh-huh.
And so here's why: 5 pillars of personal finance.
Go,
all right?
Jade. Here we go.
And if you check the boxes, then you're a financially responsible adult.
Love it.
So number 1, are you living on a budget?
Okay.
Green check. Ding. Number 2, are you a person who is living out of debt? Like you're out of debt, you don't have a debt. Ding, check that box. If I carry the proper insurances. Do I have the proper insurances? Yes, check that box. Am I a person who's saving for the future? Am I doing, my 15% to retirement? Am I doing the 529? Am I investing in my, forced savings account through my home? Ding. And am I prioritizing giving? If you're green checking all those boxes, permission to spend, to use your phrase.
Enjoy some life. I love it. I love it. Hope that helps, Brian. Enjoy the RV life, the retired life that is.
I love it.
Oh, thanks to all the guys in the booth for helping out. Jade, thanks for the great hour.
Yeah,
and remember to take control of your money and create a life you love.